Now that we are done with campaign, let us move into the most important part. According to me, it is the most important part of Mailchimp. I believe that for every email marketing softwares and CRM softwares, the most important part of them is the automation part. If there is no automations, if there is no workflow, then that particular software is not complete, because we want to be able to take hands off on some things and for some things to be running in the background on its own without the interference of a human being or an human being. So let us move into how to create automations inside of Mailchimp. So to do that, you need to come over here and you're going to go into the section called automation. So when you click on the automation menu, it is going to take you to this place where you can be able to create your own automation. So in Mailchimp, it is also called automation flow or email flow or whatever it is they have in here. So as you can see, if you go down here, you are going to see the recommended flow that has been created by Mailchimp already. These are templates that you can actually use for your own business, and you just need to personalize all of this workflow. Now, to create a new workflow, you are just going to click on build on scratch, or you can choose that you want to choose the flow templates that you want to use. So you can be able to build automation flow or workflows by using all of these templates in here. We have the one that can help you welcome new contacts by sending emails to them. We have the one where you can be able to send emails to abandoned carts if you have connected your Shopify account already. This is also to recover the lost customers from Shopify. We have the one where you can be able to connect Zapier. We have the one where you can be able to find new contact through Instagram and ads. They have a lot of templates you can actually pick from here. It is actually a lot. So you can just check through and see whichever one works for your business, and you can use any of these templates if you find the one that works for you. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to be building from scratch, and that is because we want to see how we can be able to set up these workflows by ourselves. So to build from scratch, we are just going to come over here and we are going to click on build from scratch. So when you click on build from scratch, it is going to ask you for the name of this automation, and you can then type in the particular name of the automation, and you can pick the particular audience that this automation will be built in. So whether you want to use it for CRM instructors, or you want to use it for CRM email marketing leads, whichever one works for you, you can be able to pick that particular audience. Okay, so let's say we want to name this automation. Let's say we want to name it what should we name this? So let's say we want to name this welcome series, just for the sake of this tutorial. So we are naming this welcome series, and we are putting this under the CRM instructor audience, and we can then click on choose a trigger. Now the meaning of a trigger is that what needs to happen before this automation can get started. Like, what is the particular thing that needs to be done before a contact can be able to enter into this workflow. So that is the meaning of trigger. So as you can see, they have various triggers that you can use here. These are the popular ones that you can use. We have the one for the contact activity, we have the one for the dates and special events, and the contact activities includes if a tag is added, if they sign up for email, or if they join a particular audience group, or if they leave an audience group. All of this can be seen under the contact activity. We also have the one for the date or special events, where you can be able to create an automation based on someone's birthday. You can create an automation based on the specific date. Also, you can also create an automation or using the contact sign up dates, so you can celebrate anniversary with your business, and like something like you joined us 3 years ago. Today is the day. Today makes it 3 years that you joined us and want to celebrate you. Yeah, so this is where that particular email comes in. We also have the one for the shopping activities, where you can be able to add in all of this if you've connected your e-commerce store. So you have to connect your e-commerce store before you can be able to use the shopping activity, and that is because if you connect Mailchimp with your online store, it is going to bring all of the details or any data from all the data needed from the online store inside Mailchimp, and you can be able to create automation based on all of these events. For instance, if someone buys something in your Shopify store, Mailchimp can be able to track that, and it can create an automation based on that. So you can also set up abandoned carts or e-series. You can set up abandoned browse. You can set up if there's a product back in stock and you want all of the subscribers to know that there's a product in stock for them to check it out, you can also do that. So you can do all of these triggers for the shopping activities. We also have the one for the marketing activity, whereby if an email is sent to a subscriber or if an email is sent to maybe an audience, you can be able to set this as a trigger. You can also decide that you want to check in for everyone that opened an email, or for everyone that clicked or did not click, or if they sent a reply or they sent a message. Yeah, you can also do the one where you can be able to create an automation for everyone who responded to a survey. We are going to be seeing how to create a survey in a minute after we say after we check in with automation. So we also have the payment activity, where we can be able to trigger an automation based on if someone make a payment, but we need to also connect our payment account here, the payment software we are using. We need to collect it before we can be able to use this. We can also see if a QuickBook invoice, if it changes status, we can be able to set up an automation based on that also. Another thing we have here is the API and integration, where you can be able to use Zapier custom events. You can be able to use event API, Eventbrite, and all of these can be found in the API and integration. So we are going to be starting with the contact activities, which is the most popular one that we have. If a tag is added, or if they sign up to an email, or if they join an audience group, we can also use the marketing activity, and you can see if a particular email is sent or if it is open. So let's use the contact activity for this particular tutorial. So let's say we want to check in for a tag is added, and as you can see, that has already brought in the trigger into this place, and we can be able to select the particular tag we want to use for this particular trigger. So we can say if anyone come in and a new lead tag is added to that person, we want to be able to do all of this sequence or all of this automation. You can also filter everyone that is going to be entering into this automation. Even if they are having new lead, we can say that we only want to target those people that are coming from a particular country, or we only want to target those people that have their particular email address. That can be done inside of this place. We can also decide that we want to check in for everyone that has in their first name, or if their lead source is from Instagram, that means if they're coming from Instagram and they have the tag new lead, they are going to be coming into this automation. We can also decide that we want to check in for everyone that have their their life cycle stage has lead. We can also decide that, or maybe it is opportunity or customer, whichever one works for you. So you just have to like determine what exactly or who exactly you are building this automation for. So when you are able to decide who exactly you are building this automation for, you will be able to set up this trigger correctly. And you have to make sure that this trigger is set up correctly, because if you make a mistake, it is going to affect those people that are going to be receiving all of this automation. So you want to make sure that this action is done properly and done correctly. Okay, so let's remove this segment. You can also decide that, you know what, I don't want to use this segment, I don't want to use anything, I just want to check in for all of those people who have the new lead as tag, and we can just click on save trigger. And when you click on save trigger here, as you can see, we have this trigger added in here where we have the new lead. And now the action means that what is going to be done after they come in into this automation. So we can say that if a contact is added as new tag, or if they have a tag called new lead, sorry, we can be able to send an email immediately if we want. We can also send an SMS if we want. We can also use a webhook, and we can decide I want to send a survey in an email, or we can decide that we want to remove them from a group, or we want to add them to a group. We can also decide to tag and untag them. You can say that if they have the new lead new lead tag. I keep saying contact. New lead tag, we can decide that if they have that tag, we should send an email, and when an email is sent, we can then untag them and add in another tag. You can also decide to unsubscribe the email if you want. You can decide to update the contact if you want. You can also decide to archive the contact if you want. So we'll be seeing how to use all of this in a minute, but before we see that, we also need to check in for the rules here, where we can be able to see the different rules that is available inside of Mailchimp. So we have the if or else rule, and that means if or else is just going to help us check that we want to create separate flow for if a particular contact is fitting a particular criteria, and if they are not fulfilling that particular criteria, they are going to be going into the other flow. So one flow is for if they fulfill the conditions, and the other flow is if they did not fulfill that condition. So we can say something like we want to check in for everyone that have their lead status as new, and we can use this as the segment. And as you can see, it is saying the if or else condition, lead status is new. If it is yes, you can then add in multiple actions to this flow in here, but if it is no, you can then decide to add in another multiple step in here. So that is the if or else condition. We also have the split part, which allows us to be able to add a split part. Is going to allow us to be able to add in different segments also, but we are going to be calculating based on the number of contacts or the percentage of contacts. So let's imagine that we have 100 people that are fulfilling this yes condition. We can say that 50% of that 100 should go into this flow here, which is flow A, and we can also say that 50% should be going into flow B. So that is for the split part. And we also have the next one. You can decide to save this if you want, and you can also decide to change the percentage if you want. So for instance, we can say we want to use 40/60 or want to use 30/70, whichever one works for you, just use it. But just know that it's going to be random. That means you cannot determine those people that will be going into split A and split B. Mailchimp will be the one to decide that for you. So just keep that at the back of your mind when you're trying to create this random split. So when you're done with setting that up, you want to click on save. And when you click on save, that is going to save your split for you. The other one we have under the rule is called the wait for trigger. So this wait for trigger just means that we want to be able to wait for a particular action to happen before people can be able to move to the next step. So we can say that we want to wait for a tag to be added to a particular contact before they are sent that email. We can also decide that we want to wait until it is their birthday for them to receive the survey, or for them to become unsubscribed, or we want to wait for them to unsubscribe from our contact before we archive them. Just set up different scenarios that you want to use. So you can use all of these for this one. You can say that, let's say we want to check in for let's say they join an audience group. So that means we can say that we want to wait for them to join want to wait for them to join CRM audit. And when we click on that, we can also set a time limit, and we can say we want to wait for maybe 3 days, or we want to wait for 6 days, or want to wait for 5 days, whichever one works for you. You can even wait for weeks if you want. So let's say we want to wait for 5 days, and this means that we want to wait for them to be able to have this group CRM audit. And when we click on save here, we can then decide that we are waiting for this trigger to happen in 5 days. Okay, so that means we are waiting for these people. We are waiting for 5 days for them to be able to enter this group called CRM audit. So if they do not enter this group called CRM audit in 5 days, we can then decide to move them to the next action. Maybe it is to unsubscribe them, or if it is to archive the contact, or if it is even to send them an email. So for instance, we can say that anyone that did not come inside CRM audit in 5 days, we want to unsubscribe them from our contact list because they are not performing the action that we want. Just set this up however you want. And when you do that, you want to click on save. And when you click on save, that is going to save this particular row here. We also have the last one, which is a time delay. The time delay, as it suggests, is actually pretty simple. You can decide to delay a particular task or a particular action to be done in an automation. So let's say if they come in into CRM audit, we then want to delay for maybe 1 week before we send the email, or we want to delay for 5 days, or we want to delay for maybe 1 hour, or you can even delay for days or week if you want. So that can be done. You can decide to add in whatever time frame you want, and then you can click on save, and that is for the time delay. So the time delay, like the name suggests, is just the delaying of the time before the next action is done. So let's move to each of this action. For each of this action, we can decide that we want to send an email, which is the first one. And when you drag and send an email here, it is going to take you to this place where you can be able to select the particular template you want to add inside of this automation. So we have one template we've created already. So when we click on select template, that is going to lead us to this place where we can be able to select the particular template that we have. We can be able to create a new one from scratch, or we can just use our saved template that we've created in our previous section. So when you click on apply here, it is going to apply this template here, and you can then click on, and then you can adjust this templates to fit in the new things you want to add. And when you add it and you adjust it, then you can click on save and return to journey, and this is going to save this particular template, and it's going to go into the place where you are building your automation. As you can see, this email is in here, and then you can be able to see all of the things you need to do to this particular email to make it good. So we need to set up the links and all of those things. So you can decide to rename this particular step if you want. Just name it whatever it is you want. You can also decide to add in the subject line, and you can add in the preview text if you want. When you're done, you click on save. So let me just add in welcome. And when you're done, you click on save, and that is going to save your subject line and your preview text. So when you are done, you click on close, and when you click on close, that has been added. We also have the place where you can be able to drag and drop SMS, and SMS can only be added inside of your automation when you have set up this SMS marketing by Mailchimp. So when you set up this, you'll be able to send SMS inside of your workflow. But since we do not have the access to do that, we cannot be able to set up SMS. You can also use webhook if you want, where you can be able to connect a third party to by using the webhook. We can also send a survey in email, where we can be able to decide to send a survey inside of the email. We've not created a survey yet, but we are going to see that in a minute. So we can see all of this. We can edit this, the to and from. We can edit the subject of the email. We can also schedule it if you want, but when you're done, you click on close also. And you can also decide to group and ungroup, where you can be able to group this particular contact inside the different groups that you have. You can decide that if a particular action is done, they should be added to this group called email marketing setup, and you can decide that you either want to add them to this group or you want to remove them from this group, whichever one works for you. And when you're done, you click on save, and that is going to save that particular action. We also have the tag and untag, where you can be able to add a tag, or you can be able to untag that particular contact inside of this workflow. So you can say that if they're coming from the website, you want to add in maybe or if they're coming from YouTube, you want to add in YouTube contacts, and if you can also decide to add or remove if you want. So let's say we want to add this tag, and you click on save, that is going to add the tag. We can also decide to unsubscribe email, and that means that you want to take off people from your email list when a particular trigger is triggered. So you can say that if they unsubscribe from your contact list in your email campaigns that you've sent to them, you want to unsubscribe them, and this is going to unsubscribe them from your list, and you will not have access to send emails to them any longer. So you can decide to unsubscribe by using this particular one here, and you can decide that you want to update particular contacts that fulfill a particular condition. So let's say we want to update or we want to delete a particular detail. We can say if we click on update, we can then choose the particular field we want to update. We can say that I want to update the lead source or want to update the lead status. So we can say that, for instance, if they opened our email, we want to be able to update this lead status to contacted, and we can also update to whichever option that we have in here. So you can do this for your own custom fields that you've created. And if you do not know how to create custom field, you can refer back to the former section where we were able to create custom fields from start to finish. You can be able to adjust all of these custom fields. We can say that I want to add a life cycle stage as lead, and when you are done with updating that, you can then click on save, and that is going to save that particular action. We also have the next action, which is to archive the contact. We can say that I want to archive all of this contact in here. I'm not able to add that. Okay, we can also decide to add in the archive contact, where we can be able to delete the contact if we want. So that is for, we've seen how we can add in the rules, and we've seen how to add in the action. And when you are done, you can come over to your settings here, where you can be able to rename the flow name if you want, and you can also pick the objective for this particular automation. You can say that this automation is to sell stuff, or if it is to nurture relationship, or if it is to re-engage contacts. You can add in whatever objective this workflow is for. You can also decide that you want contacts to re-enter this workflow after you've created them, or after they've fulfilled, after they've gone through all of the steps. You can decide that contacts can be able to come back into this workflow when that trigger is triggered again. So that means that whatever trigger you set, and they come into this workflow, and they reach it, and they reach the end of this workflow, you can decide that if that trigger happens again, they can be able to start again from the beginning. You want to make sure that you understand this process, because if you actually pick this, you are saying that they can be able to re-enter this workflow maybe after 1 day or after 10 days of completing this workflow. If you do not want that, you just need to take this off, and that has been taken off already. You can also decide that the contact can be manually added, and you can also remove, you can manually remove contacts also. If you have your Google Analytics, you can also link that in here by clicking on the Google Analytics, and it's going to take you to the place where you can connect that. You can also track in your replies and your opens, and when you are done, it is best that you send test emails to yourself to see how this emails is going to look like in your own inbox before you launch this particular automation. And when you're done with all of this, you want to click on continue, and when you click on continue, it is going to take you to this next step, where it is going to review all of your flows for you. And now, as you can see, we have some missing things in our workflow which we need to fix before we can be able to trigger this workflow. So I'm just going to go back into my workflow in here, my email. So I'm just going to delete these things, just for tutorial sake actually. So I've deleted some things that are causing us issues, and I'm just going to click on continue. And as you can see, you have to make sure that it says that your content looks good. If it does not look good, you want to make sure that you go back into each of the things that are having issues, and you want to correct them. Because if you do not correct them, Mailchimp will not allow you to be able to turn this workflow on. So you want to make sure that everything is corrected, all of the errors are adjusted, then you can be able to turn the workflow on. So when you click on turn flow on, it is going to help you publish this particular workflow, and it is going to start going to everyone inside of your contact list. As you can see, we can be able to check in for the particular audience, and we can see the particular email we just created today, which is April 20th of April. We can see everyone that started this workflow, and we can see everyone that is in progress. We can also see everyone that has completed this workflow. And when we click on view report over here, we can be able to see all of the people that are active, all of the people that are in progress of this automation, and we can see the total number of people that have started the workflow, and the total number of people that have completed the workflow. So this will help you to have an idea of the contacts that are fulfilling the trigger that you've set for the workflow, and what you can be able to do to see the people that are still in progress. So that is for automation. And like I said, you can go back into your automation flow and you can be able to see all of the automations that you've created for a particular audience. And you can also click on this part where you can view your flow, or you can replicate your flow if you want, or you can even pause your flow. So let's say you have a particular event coming up, but the particular event is on hold, and you created a workflow for that particular event. You can also pause this automation, and that is going to pause all of the action that is being done inside of that workflow. So now this brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I hope this has helped you to understand Mailchimp a little bit better. Now, if you are currently trying to figure out whether Mailchimp is the right fit for your business, or maybe you are already using Mailchimp, ConvertKit, or another email marketing software, and you're not exactly sure how to structure these things properly, we are happy to help you. At CRM Instructors, we offer a free discovery call where we can look at your business and understand what you are trying to achieve and guide you on the best approach for your email marketing setup. So whether you are trying to get started, or you are switching platforms, or you are trying to organize what you currently have already, you can book this discovery call, and we're going to help you bring clarity to your business. And you will find the discovery link in the description below. And if this tutorial has helped you, make sure you subscribe, because we create practical CRM and email marketing tutorials like this every week, and I do not want you to miss out. So I will see you in my next video. Do not forget to subscribe and also like this video, and also turn on the notification bell so that whenever we drop amazing videos like this, you are notified. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.